Hey everyone, welcome to Money Wire Work. Today I'm going to be taking a look at some of the cryptocurrencies. I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some probably some other altcoins. First, I just wanted to do an update on SPY. Now, just to let you know, so it's a little bit easier for you to see the trend lines through the video, I did alter some things on here. So the 50-day moving average is still green. I just put it as a brighter color. The 100-day is this lighter blue color right here. And then the 200-day is the yellow line right here. So as we talked about before, I was correct in my assumption that I thought it was the price action was going to go through the 50-day moving average and either hit the 100-day or potentially the 200-day moving average and bounce off of it. We did talk about how it could potentially move through and then go to a higher low, or a lower low, I should say, back down here. But as of right now, what we're doing is it looks like we're bouncing off of this 200-day moving average, which is something I talked about a couple of times in my previous video, where I said if it does something like this where it comes up and it bounce and starts to come back down, that's causing a higher probability, as far as my sentiment is concerned, that it's going to come back down and do a lower low. It still could come back down and bounce up and be a higher low. But until things change with the Fed and inflation and where we're at with our economy and everything like that, I'm still looking for a lower low right now. But we'll see. We'll talk about inflation eventually, either in this video or a future video, and track where that's at. But so as of right now, this is where we're at. Another thing I did do, just to let you guys know, is I did increase the brightness a little bit on these clouds, so you can see the clouds a little bit better. And then also too, I actually turned out to really like this. I thickened these green and yellow lines right down here, so it's a little bit easier to see. So as of right now, the TSI is not showing any signs of a reversal right now. That's mainly because the price action for the past couple of days has just been moving sideways. So there isn't really anything to inflect down on. Right now, you can see the current 1-day candle is actually having somewhat of a strong uptrend. It's trying to get through this 200-day moving average, and it still might. As I said, it could potentially go up to the 200 average or somewhere in between before it bounces back down. Everything, whether you're going up or going down, is going to sort of come down and back up again. So if this comes down and produces a higher low, then again, that sentiment potentially will change, and we'll start to maybe look at a long position. But once again, keep in mind, everything is dependent on the Fed and inflation and what they're doing and interest rates. All right. So let's get into here. Let's get into some of the cryptos. Now we can start with Bitcoin here. Bitcoin's the big one. It's one of the few blue chips in the space, and essentially it's almost like an ETF for crypto in a sense, because everything more or less follows it. Okay. So as of right now, on the 1-day, Bitcoin has a lot to go before it's even going to come through any of these moving averages. As far as value is concerned, if you look at history of the price action, we can turn the log on and we can go to the weekly here to get a little bit better picture. The more you zoom out, the more you're going to have a better idea of where the trend is going. So let's open this back up here. So if you take a look at it, and first, at least because Bitcoin is so new, when you zoom out this much, the volume over here isn't really going to tell you too much. You're going to have to kind of either use this top part right here, or you're just going to have to zoom it a little bit, use the 1-day to kind of see. You can also go like this over here and it will help you a little bit, but it's just, there's not a lot of data. You can see these moving averages aren't even fully complete here, but that doesn't matter. You can still use them. So if you're looking at Bitcoin as far as bear market and bull market, you can see, you can just treat all these blue clouds as a bull market, and you can treat all these red clouds as a bear market. And that's really generally the overall sentiment. After 2018, there was this long bear market. I don't think anyone that trades crypto considers this a part of a bull market. Everyone considers this a bear market right here. There was this right here, this spike up where I think it was about a 4x from the low down here at 31,000, or I'm sorry, 3,100. And you had this little bit of a reflection down, and then you had 2020, and then from there that began this bull market, this latest bull market that we saw. So you can really just follow the overall, whether we're in a bear market or bull market as far as crypto, just based on this 7 and 25 moving average. Now, one thing to also look at is when you look at these moving averages here, it doesn't reach this 200-day very often, but when Bitcoin reaches this 200-day, it traditionally signals a really good buying opportunity, okay? So that's one thing to think about. If you have some capital on the side that you want to invest in Bitcoin, and you're willing to let it sit for a while, because we don't know how this can go. This could trade sideways for quite a long time. It could go down even more. You could add a 300-day moving average on here, and we could potentially see the price touch that 300-day. We look for patterns in the market, but just because something hasn't happened in the past doesn't mean it can't happen in the future, all right? So you got to keep that in mind as well. So as far as Bitcoin right here on the 1 week, if you're looking to buy and trade the low parts and get in, and you're willing to keep some money in there for a while, this could start the opportunity to buy in. But again, just keep in mind, it depends your strategy. That's a very different strategy than waiting before, like over here in 2019, waiting before you're up over the 7, the 25, the 50, the 100 and 200-day moving average. So it depends on your strategy and what you want to do. There's positives and advantages to each, and you can also do a combination of both, right? But you just have to have a plan. So you can start to maybe nibble a little bit down here, and then when you start to see signs of proof of concept, more or less, you can start to scale in more, and that way you're at, let's say we get up to a new high of like 73,000. You're in a really good position to already start to sell out, even if it's going to go up even more to 80 or whatever price it could be. You can already start to sell out, and by the time everything starts to come back down, you're either fully out or mostly out. And it's a lot easier way to control your emotion by getting in at the right time. There's two parts of trading. It's when to get in and when to get out. All right, so if you can get in at a good time, like over here, like I said in 2019, if you can get in right as it goes over all of these moving averages, it's going to help you emotionally when you start to see a downturn, because you're already up in profits, and you can, again, calculate your risk and see if you want to hang on to some or if you want to fully get out of your position and wait for another opportunity. Because keep in mind, just because you're out of a position doesn't mean you can't trade that stock or that crypto anymore. You can always get back in when sentiment starts to change. So if you were to ride this here, let's say you were to get it at 5,800. You ride all this, you start to see this yellow line start to come down. So maybe let's say you're watching it and it's just going down. So then you sell at around 11,000. You've done pretty well as far as percentages are concerned. You then watch it. Now you see it bounce. You get in at 8,800, and let's say you're missing an opportunity, or I'm sorry, let's say you're starting to go down, and you're like, okay, this isn't the opportunity I was looking for. You sell out for a little bit of a loss because you put your stop loss below this 25 moving average or below the EMA cloud, and then you try it again. Now we're over this right here. We're over all these moving averages. You start to scale in, and now you're seeing your investment go up. And now over here, when you're down to 40,000, you've already made a huge amount of profit, even though you lost some up here, you know. But again, you can always start to scale out. One thing that I did, when as far as Bitcoin is concerned, I did buy back in here. I can't exactly remember where I got in here, but I did end up selling, and then I bought back in up around here, and then I started to see these higher highs just get depleted, and it was hitting this wall, and around here is where I sold out. And then I did play, I think it was this second turn up right here, I started to play here. And so that's where we're at for Bitcoin. We can take a look at Ethereum next. All right, so Ethereum's chart here. As of right now, it looks like on the weekly, we're hitting this 100-day moving average, okay? So, and this red candle right here is signaling a potential of a downturn because it's struggling to get over the previous candle. So we're going to continue to watch Ethereum as well. You know, it's very possible too, if it comes back down, it's just going to hit the 200 and bounce again, and it could consolidate right here, and that's going to give traders reassurance that there is a floor, and that's how sentiment often changes. You see this bottom, and okay, we got a good floor, and then everyone starts to kind of nibble a little bit. Maybe some people just throw a bunch of their money in there, and then it slowly starts to build up. It starts to form like that cup, and even on the and on this other side, as it's starting to build the other part of the wall of the cup, it starts to build trading sentiment, and that's where you get the next inflection to the upside. You know, you have to keep in mind some part of it, you know, a lot of it is your technical analysis and your indicators, but some part of it is just psychology. That's really what we're trading right now. We're trading trader psychology, we're trading macroeconomic trends, we're trading investment sentiment, and all the things like that. So you have to look at a big picture and see where it's at. So we can take a look at maybe a couple more of these cryptos here. It looks like Solana is up a little bit. So Solana right now doesn't have enough to produce a 200-day moving average, but right now it looks like it's just bouncing off of, it looks like it's bouncing off the 7. So it's even got a lot of ways to go before it even hits the 100-day moving average or this 25 up top here. So, and this is a good example though. If you look, you could have bought in here because it's over all of these, moving averages. But it really helps to see a bounce off of this 25, and on that bounce up off of like a strong green candle is where you can start to scale in. All right, we took a look at Cardano before, but we'll look at it again. We can go down to the 1 day. And we can see it's just pretty much on a steady decline. This increase right here isn't anything too crazy. Like I said earlier in a previous video, most people are kind of just staying away from altcoins right now. There are a lot of Cardano bros out there. So, you know, I have no doubt that when the market, as far as crypto is concerned, comes back, that Cardano will continue to go up. So just something to keep an eye on when you see it go above all these moving averages here. You can see there's on this the volume here. On the volume here, we've got the VRVP. You can see that there's quite a bit of a wall right here. So that's something that we're gonna have to get through as far as ADA is concerned. We can just kind of take a look at a random one here, BAT. So BAT is a smaller cap, so it is going to see higher volatility. So that's just something to pay attention to as far as when the market comes back. As far as right now, it's not really showing anything. We have DOT here. DOT had a little bit of a pretty strong uptrend, but now as you see that Ethereum and Bitcoin are starting to come back down, a lot of people are just selling out of dot there, so there's higher volatility. Crow is on a strong uptrend right now, actually. I don't know if there's any news on it or whatnot, but that's something you could always look at. So that's a good lesson here in this video, is if you see one crypto or one stock doing something that's different from the rest of the market or the S&P 500, you're like, okay, well, maybe there's some news on it. It's up 9.4%, which is good. I mean, it's good for my staking, that's for sure. So I'm happy about that. I don't know why ARK is down here. It should be up with the stocks, but we can just look at it, I guess, since it's down here. Not really doing anything. I like trading it. I don't like holding ARK. As far as long-term is concerned, I'm not really interested in it. A lot of value investors or long-term investors don't like ARK's approach, RK, with the innovation, and I don't necessarily blame them for that. So I'm not holding it long-term, but I was trading it. Over here, I sold out as we had sort of the growth bubble pop. I bought in around here. It didn't really do anything, and I sold, and I don't currently have a position there. So one last thing we can take a look at is the NASDAQ. Now, if you look at this is over all of these moving averages. We would love, as far as a long-term perspective, or I'm sorry, as far as entering in a long position, we would love to see a bounce, probably or near the 200-day moving average, and then come up. We do have a pretty big resistance right here, which is what we're actually hitting. So if you look at it right here now, not only do we have price consolidation here, but we have the VRVP with a high bar or a long bar right here, which means there's a lot of volume. So if you're under this bar, you're looking at it as a resistance. If you're below, or if you're above it, you're looking at it as a support line. So whenever you have a consolidation of price right here, that's going to reflect in the VRVP. So that's all I have really for you guys today. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you want to learn more, if you want to just follow my trading, follow my strategy. I'm also going to get into other different strategies like triple super trend, things like that. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you do subscribe, hit that notification bell. I really appreciate all the interaction on the channel, and we'll see you next time.